go. Woo! Let's go!
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Hopefully you've had a chance to see Black Panther. This is going to be my explanation of the post-credit scenes. There is a new round of that Infinity Gauntlet giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Be sure to click that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss any of the videos either, just because it is kind of crazy with the Olympics right now. So careful for spoilers if you have not seen Black Panther yet. I'll wait just a second. Okay, so first big one, Black Panther at the United Nations with Everett Ross. He's decided to fulfill a promise that he made to Nakia to show the world what Wakandans are capable of. She and Okoye have this thing where they tail Black Panther through most of the film. They have his ear for very different reasons. So Nakia is a spy working abroad for Wakanda, just doing general intelligence gathering. So she spends most of her time in the larger world just seeing how things are and knowing how much better it is in Wakanda. So because she's offering regular reports on what's going on in the broader world, and she used to be his girlfriend, he just listens to what she has to say. But also Okoye is the leader of the Dora Milaje, so she's more of a motherly big sister type, but she's very traditionalist. She initially believes that Wakanda should be more isolationist, but then they all sort of come around. Like obviously Black Panther isn't going to make everybody happy as king. So fulfilling his promise to Nakia, he addresses the larger United Nations and says that they will no longer be isolationist. They'll open their borders up. They're not going to cloak it visually with the shield like you see them pass through it. It's literally cloaked from view and from sensors. So they're not going to do that anymore. And they twist that Ulysses Klaue speech from earlier in the film when he's talking to Everett Ross and says, "What do you know of Wakanda?" And Everett Ross says, textiles, farming, simple people. Delegates of the United Nations sort of laugh at Black Panther and say, what does a bunch of farmers have to offer the larger world? We're first world nations. We quite literally have all the money and the power in the world, and his badass way of responding to that is sort of chuckling, and then it just dips to the credits, as if it's his I am Iron Man moment. Like they're all sitting there at the press conference at the end of that first Iron Man film, and he just flat out gets ready to tell them, and you could just picture him saying something like, "Vibranium, yo." But the reason why that's such a big deal is because it means that he's going to be sharing Wakandan technology selectively, at first probably very slowly, with the broader world community, meaning that you'll see Wakandan stuff pop up in the other Marvel Cinematic films in the next 10 years. There's actually been a new theory that's popped up recently. Because Black Panther is now sort of pushing Wakandan technology and their ideas into the broader world, people are like, wait a minute, what if Black Panther were to buy the Avengers Tower for Shuri and she turned it into an outpost in New York City for the Wakandan technology group that she runs? So that's all speculation at this point. We don't really know how they're going to incorporate the Wakandan characters like Shuri and Black Panther and anybody else from that film into the future Marvel films, but I think you can assume there's going to be a sequel and there'll probably be a lot more crossover. So we'll probably learn more about that after Infinity War. A lot of speculation about the future of Black Panther characters will have to wait till after Infinity War because we're literally getting that in a couple months. Speaking of Infinity War, the second post-credit scene is what you would call the Infinity War teaser. It basically serves the purpose of explaining what happens to Winter Soldier between the end of Civil War and the beginning of Infinity War, because you see him in all these trailer shots in Wakanda, and yes, he has a new bionic arm that's made out of vibranium, yes, they fixed his mind, but the other really deep cut from Marvel Comics is that the children of the village where he emerges from in this scene are calling him the White Wolf. So people are like, wait a minute, does that mean that they're going to do White Wolf in a future Black Panther movie? Because that character in the comics is actually somebody who was sort of a stepbrother to Black Panther. He led the Hattusilimaza, which is kind of like the Spec Ops team within the idea of Dora Milaje. Like the Dora Milaje are this hardcore fighting force. They're totally badass during the film. I love what they did with the characters. But the Hattusilimaza are meant to be an extra level intense above that. So the fact that they're canonizing Winter Soldier as the White Wolf means that there's a good chance that he could come back during that Black Panther sequel. But you have to remember that a lot of actors are at the end of their contracts, so it's just up for grabs. Just depends on how they want to use the character going forward. But now they have a really solid option. If you didn't see it, I did a video a little while ago explaining how Shuri deprograms his mind from all the Hydra commands. So that's the other big part of this too, is that as part of all the cool technology and things that Shuri's able to do is that Wakandans also have AI technology that's much more advanced than the technology used to create Ultron. It obviously, yes, they did have the Mind Gem at their disposal, but if Shuri is the key to understanding things like that, then obviously that's going to be a big plot point during Infinity War, because they have to get the Mind Gem out of Vision so that Thanos can put it in the gauntlet without killing him in the process. So it kind of serves two purposes. It fixes Winter Soldier so there isn't like a big plot hole when he just walks out looking normal during Infinity War. It also provides a logical way for how the Avengers can understand the Infinity Gems on a level that they haven't before. Because by the events of the first Avengers film, they had had the Tesseract for a long time, still didn't know that the Infinity Gem was inside of it, or how it worked, or how to use it without blowing themselves up. They just treated it like it had a will of its own, which it kind of does. The Infinity Gems do have a low-level consciousness about them.
The Tesseract is misbehaving.
That's supposed to be funny?
No, it's not funny at all. The Tesseract is not only active, she's behaving. She's throwing off interference, radiation. Nothing harmful, low levels of gamma radiation.
That can be harmful.
Adjacent to that idea, if you guys didn't see it, I did a Spider-Man video about future armor that he might have, just explaining how Wakanda might spread their technology to the greater world. And because Spider-Man and Shuri will both be with the Avengers during Infinity War, Spider-Man is a full-blown Avenger. We could consider Shuri an honorary Avenger after the events of Infinity War. I think it's safe to assume that she's going to survive both of those movies so she can go on to Phase 4 and show up wherever they want to use her. But this is her talking about helping Spider-Man with his suit.
Man, Tom's my friend. And I was contemplating helping him in the future with his suit and stuff, and we were just going back and forth. But I think I would win. We're rooting for you. You know, being Wakandan and all.
Realistically, what I think that means is that everybody will get really cool stuff, and they might just say that there's some Wakandan technology built into it. Like, I gave you some help with that, but everybody isn't going to roll out looking the exact same with vibranium gear. It's just that in some cases, they'll be more literal, like Captain America's shield is literally a Wakandan vibranium shield. In other cases, it will be less visible advancements, like fixing Winter Soldier's brain, separating Vision's brain from the Mind Gem. But when we get into Infinity Gem territory, it's a little bit of speculation. I'm not expecting to see any of that stuff in the trailers. Like, we haven't seen Thor with the Avengers in any of the trailers, even though he was in that D23 footage. Thanos, like, grabbing his head like he was going to pop it like a grape. There are a couple things that they'll probably just leave out of the trailers just because they give away too many spoilers. But you can sort of put the dots together. So when we do get new footage, I'll talk about that. There's supposed to be a new Infinity War promo Friday night, so I'll do a video for that, whatever it is. That's probably not going to post till later in the evening, though, so just be aware that that's going to happen. I will post a more detailed, spoilery review tomorrow morning, then obviously a whole bunch of Infinity War in the next couple of weeks, but leave all your video requests. If there's anything that you want me to talk about specifically from the movie or big questions you want me to address, just write it below in the comments. There is that new round of that giveaway. I'll name the winner when I post that spoilery review in the morning. But click here to rewatch that Infinity War trailer, and click here to learn all about Thor's new weapon. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.